Doris at Sea is the 16th episode of the 4th season of the Doris Day Show. This was directed by Marc Daniels, and I don't think I'll go into any spoiler details, so I won't say what happens in the second half of the episode, but I will talk a little bit about the basic premise. Did I enjoy this episode? It was okay. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot going on. It's not very funny. There's not a lot of drama, but there is one thing I liked, and that's the return of Dr. Peter Laurence, played by Peter Lawford. Doris met him quite a few episodes ago now. He's Cyril Bennett's doctor, and they've started up a bit of a thing, and I'm glad that they're continuing this because it seems like every episode or every other episode there's a potential love interest for Doris, and she just seemed to throw her romantic feelings around from one person to the next. So I like the fact that we have a little bit of a relationship with the same character, and I like him. I think he's a really good character, so I was quite happy about that. And Dr. Peter Laurence needs to fly out to a ship to perform an appendectomy on a character called Nicholas Kavros, played by Anthony Caruso. And when Cy Bennett hears about this, he insists that Doris goes along because they're writing a story about inflation, and Nicholas Kavros is going to be at the heart of that information. And Doris doesn't want to go initially, but at the same time she will spend time with her romantic interest with Dr. Laurence, so she ends up going. The scenes on the boat, not too bad. I don't mind Kavros as a character. I thought he was quite interesting, but things he had to say weren't that interesting. The specifics of the narrative weren't that fascinating. Not a lot happens. It's very, very flat. So I don't really know if I liked it or not. I was in a pretty good mood because of the return of Dr. Laurence, and I do like him interacting with Doris. That's quite nice. And Cyril Bennett was decent in this episode. Sometimes I don't love Cyril Bennett's personality, but in this one he wasn't too bad. So I'm on the fence. It's not a great episode. It's not a great narrative, but there are some nice moments in it, and there's nothing specifically wrong with it. So Doris at Sea, I'd say is an average, maybe slightly above average episode in terms of enjoyment, but the narrative needed some work. But as a Doris Day fan, Doris Martin in this was pretty brilliant. Needless to say, Doris at Sea is not my favourite episode, but it's certainly not bad either.